Yeah, good morning everybody, and it's particularly appropriate that it's Apprenticeships Week, and some of the preceding speakers have talked about the value of apprenticeships, and really that's where ATG training come in. We look back at our history, and we were formed in the 1960s, not too far outside of London, because of exactly the kind of community need and needs for young people entering employment that exists today. So we were formed in 1967. A group of local employers wanted to make sure that there was a training opportunity for local young people leaving school to get them into their first job and to see them into the start of their career. And we've carried on doing that for the last 46 years. But there was an important point that's relevant for today that came into being around 12 years ago when we entered into the cycle maintenance market. Because for all the reasons that we've talked about, the growth in cycling, the professionalism that was becoming apparent in the industry, we recognised with our partners, the Association of Cycle Traders, that there was an opportunity there to get people some really good, relevant qualifications, but also to attract government funding. So we launched the country's first cycle apprenticeship scheme. And it's fantastic, and I thank Steve and Judith for partnering with us here. It's fantastic that we're allowed to come in here and have our first London workshop. Because we have a workshop in Aylesbury, we've had workshops in Manchester and Stafford, but we've long looked for a venue in London, and this just fits perfectly with us. Whatever ATG have done in the past, we've done with a strong sense of community. Whether we've set up our original premises in Aylesbury, whether we've done it in Manchester, I think we've been in Plymouth once before as well. It's always been with an eye on what we can produce for the local community and what we can do for local people. And there's a kind of a phrase that I like to use quite a lot around apprenticeships called positive economic contribution. Because I see the great value that apprenticeships can bring. If you take a young person and put them into an apprenticeship, they immediately start making a positive economic contribution to themselves because they're earning money as well as earning a wage. They make an economic contribution to their employer in the form of productivity. And in the case of professional cycle mechanics, we've seen a huge growth in the last decade of the revenue that cycle businesses make from the workshop and servicing activity rather than just the retail side. They make a positive economic contribution to the economy, and goodness knows it needs it. You know, the more people we can have contributing through PAY and national insurance, the better. But most importantly of all, every time a young person enters employment through an apprenticeship, they make a positive impact on their community. And that's what we look forward to doing here. So it's appropriate that I hand over to the Deputy Mayor of Islington.
Thanks everyone for inviting me here. I'm wondering what I've got left to say now after somebody else has said something. If I may, I'll move away a little bit from bikes, although like other people I have a bike, and like Catherine I have a bike that's sitting not doing very much. I haven't used it for a while, and it probably does need to come in and be sorted out, so I'll take the card away and sort something out afterwards. But the other thing is, of course, about the using of spaces like this. It's, I suppose, a consequence of what Paul was saying about the reduction in the number of cars. We did a survey a few years ago and found that literally about half the garages on our estates are just not in use. So it made great sense to find some other uses for those spaces. And this is a great use of one here. For also other places, we're converting them into housing. And near me, at the Nag's Head, we found a block of old garages with considerably more headroom than this, in fact enough to make it quite easy to convert them. And the plans are afoot to turn them into 18 new homes for people. And there'll be homes, ground floor, level access, the sort of thing that perhaps an older person who can't manage the stairs anymore might be looking for. So I'm delighted that we're doing more and more to take all these empty garage spaces and make a great deal of use for them. I think I've got a few notes, see if anything's been left out. We've mentioned GetMoreBikes. Well, we can mention them again, can't we? Yeah, GetMoreBikes and ATG and the Bemerton Village Tenant Management Organisation, the council. A whole group of people who have come together to make this possible, so I'd just like to thank everyone again, and more power to your elbow. And now I think I pose with the scissors before I am told that today I'm actually allowed to cut it. Occasionally they tell me not to cut the ribbon because they're going to take it somewhere else to open something. But today I'm being allowed to. That's great. Okay, does everyone come close for the photos? Yeah, everyone join in. And some other people can follow. Yeah. Okay, so lots of About to.
Before and after.
Tell me when you've got enough.
Go for it.
Okay, we'll go for it now. 2, 3, go.